What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show. And today, Washington pulls out the victory of all time in a game that I said that they would score their first 30 points of the season. Let's go down what happened. Let's talk about it. Washington did a fantastic... Taylor Heinicke, and I've been saying this the whole time. Taylor Heinicke is the best quarterback for this offense. It's no doubt about that. Like, there is no more questions anymore. This guy showed real resolve even after he threw the interception to get the team down there. Now, I will say this, again, return of the heart attack kids, because my God, man, they were ready to give me a major heart attack. To sit up here and win the game by one, my God, man, I tell you, this was something else. But let's start with my keys to the game. Like I said, I had 7 keys to the game, and we're going to run them down. Let's start with key number 1. Key number 1 was stop the run. Washington did a fairly decent job when it came to the running backs. When it came to Daniel Jones, again, I just don't understand it. But again, they did stop the run when it came to the running backs. They completed that task. Now, again, like I said, the Daniel Jones running around, I don't know for the life of me why nobody has basically killed Daniel Jones running out of that backfield. So the fact that they did accomplish the fact of stopping the run when it comes to the running backs, that's a key that was met. Key number 2, dominate both sides of the line. Defensive line, they kind of was doing their job, but not as well as they could. Offensive line, they held up. They actually held up better than we thought. I mean, they at one point it was like the line had only given up 1 sack the whole game. So, I mean, the fact that they held up, I was pretty impressed with that. Again, this defensive line is not sitting up there showing that they can actually play. I mean, it's starting to worry me a little bit, even though they were putting pressure on Daniel Jones, because for some reason, Joe Judge or whoever felt the need to start putting Daniel Jones in the box to throw and not actually have him out there running the ball like he was at first. But again, like I said, but still a fairly decent performance by the defensive line. Not what we're looking for, but maybe they're getting close, because there were points in times where it looked like Chase Young was just gasping for air. But we'll see how this goes along. Again, dominate both sides of the line. Not accomplished, but still not something that murdered us during the game. 3, conceal your linebacking, your poor linebacking play. To be quite honest, that was spot on. They did that. But again, they covered up the poor linebacking play, but at the same time, the secondary, especially, I'll just say, Kendall Fuller and William Jackson, the 2 cornerbacks we were expecting to be more involved when it comes to the defense and not giving up big plays, were actually some of the culprits on the big plays. They also got a lot of penalties. So I was really shocked about that. But again, they did conceal the poor linebacking play, because even though Kyle Rudolph was getting his catches, and again, they focused more on Sterling Shepard catching those intermediate passes and taking them off for big plays than they did where the tight end and Kyle Rudolph was making more plays. So they did technically do that. Contain Daniel Jones. Now, I'll give them a half on that one, because when he was running the ball, they were doing nothing. When he started to throw the ball, they were getting some pressure on him. Not as much, but they did. The Giants helped us achieve this more than us achieving it ourselves. Because again, when Daniel Jones was out there running the ball, we had no answer for him. When he started passing the ball, that's when all of a sudden the threat of Daniel Jones went away. So in actuality, even though this goal was met, it was met due to the fact that the Giants went away from Daniel Jones running the ball. So that is something that, again, a key that was met, but met in such a very weird way. Run the ball. It was my next key. Again, Antonio Gibson is doing a fantastic job running the ball. This time they brought in J.D. McKissic, who also ran pretty well. So, and actually made some key third down plays and 1 yard to go plays. So again, running the ball, they did that. They did a very good job with that. Number 6 was utilize J.D. McKissic and Logan Thomas more. J.D. McKissic came up big, and this is what we were expecting in the first game. J.D. McKissic needed to be utilized, and I think now they see what his value really is. So with that, it's an exciting thing to know that at the end of the day, he did produce what he was supposed to produce. And even with Logan Thomas came up with some big plays down the line. Again, we can't talk enough about Taylor Heinicke's play, but again, another key that was met. Last but not least, and the key that I said was the most important key of them all, and that was score more than 20 points. They did it. Again, like I said, Washington wins the game 30-29 against the Giants. Again, a phenomenal game. A lot of back and forth. You see what the NFC East fight is about, and clearly it seems like the NFC East teams know they're facing hard schedules and know that everything is going to fall in line with what their schedule, what their win totals are within the division to actually make the playoffs. So this was a really, really good game. Here are my final thoughts on the game. I have been beating the Taylor Heinicke drum for the longest. Excuse me. And again, we now see what I've been saying and what others have been saying in regards to Taylor Heinicke. He gives us the best chance to win. When he's running that offense, it looks like it's supposed to be run. It looks like it's on par to be one of the top offenses, which is actually good. I'm not saying that they will be, but they're going in the right direction. And with Taylor Heinicke at the helm, you see that. So with that, I was really impressed with the way Taylor played. I'm glad he's our starting quarterback at this point. I don't see the need to go away from him unless he gets injured. But to me, he's doing everything that we want in a quarterback to do. Like I said, the fact that he recovered even after an interception, it was remarkable. Dustin Hopkins, whew, what a way to get over that one. I mean, my God. I thought that was it, man. Thank God for the Giants and that penalty. But, I mean, hey, they moved it up a little bit more and he made it. So, can't be mad at him about that. But Dustin has to be on board, because I'm sorry, y'all. The whole time I was listening to the telecast and the whole time I was thinking, Graham Gano was here. Graham Gano was here. All they kept talking about was how he basically didn't miss a kick. And then my man Graham Gano goes out there and hit from, I think it was 51 and 55. I mean, it was just, I was just sitting there like, And even it just felt like Troy Aikman knew Graham Gano was in Washington, and he was just trying to turn that knife a little bit deeper when he said, "Oh yeah, you know, anytime you have a kicker that's that accurate, you never want to get rid of one of those." Jabbing that knife. That's what he was doing. Last but not least, this defense has to. Our expectations for this defense was something very, very different. And what we're getting right now is not the best that we think we can get out of this defense. It's sad to say that because, again, there were a lot of plays that they were supposed to make that they did not make. Daniel Jones is not supposed to be running all over the place. The problem that I have with that is that if Daniel Jones gave us fits, what's going to happen in Buffalo? I mean, like, we cannot have that happen. I have to, and it's so disheartening to see that the defense, even though they didn't play awful, nah, I'm not going to lie, they did, especially the secondary. But the fact that they were able to kind of recover and settle down and kind of get the Giants out of it, I was fine with that. But we expect a lot more from this defense. And they have to sit up here and show us that our belief in them was true. Because right now, it seems like what we thought was our strong point of the team seems to be the weakness, and what we thought was the weakness of the team seems to be the strong point of the team. So, I mean, we'll definitely have to see what happens. We got Buffalo up next, Josh Allen and his running around. And then if something was to happen to him, you got Mitchell Trubisky right behind him. So not only that, we see somebody way more dangerous than Kenny Golladay and Stephon Diggs. So like I said, y'all, we'll definitely see how this goes. Again, excited for the win. Glad we got the win. Glad we got the win in the division because we needed it. Glad that happened. On to Buffalo. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.